It's a little strange to have Cardinal red as the dominant color inside Rupp Arena, but Louisville fans have shown up in droves here in Lexington. It's Louisville and North Carolina A&T in the second round of the NCAA basketball championship. Take a look at the starting lineups. A&T after the win over Liberty, getting to the second round. Victory in the first four. They've got Lamont Middleton, Gene Louisme, Bruce Beckford, Austin Witter, and Adrian Powell. The starting five. For Louisville, Peyton Siva, Russ Smith, Wayne Blackshear, Shane Behannon, and Gorgie Jang. For Rick Pitino's squad, now in his 12th year at Louisville, obviously had a lot of success inside this arena, won a national championship as the head coach at Kentucky, took Louisville to the Final Four a year ago, and now at 29-5, the top overall seed. Cy Alexander, his first season as the head coach of NCAA out of the MEAC. Greensboro, North Carolina. Cy Alexander, a lot of success himself at South Carolina State. Mike Stewart, Mike Sanzier, and Kurt Walker, the officiating crew. We're underway in Lexington. Louisville, the #1 seed in the Midwest region against NCAA. Ian Eagle, Jim Spinarco, Allie LaForce, the rest of our TBS crew. A few things you're looking for here early, Jimmy.
Well, I'm just thinking the Aggies have to really control the tempo here. As you see, Louisville can spread people out. Jang starting things off with a 15-foot jumper, and then what do? Ian? They come at you very, very quickly with their full court presses and traps. So composure, relax, and try to attack it.
North Carolina A&T stepping up in weight class here, and it's Lamont Middleton getting the Aggies on the board.
And sometimes teams who press don't like to be pressed. That's what Cy Alexander was telling us yesterday, so we'll see how they do against a few traps.
Russ Smith, second leading scorer in the Big East, stripped for the ball, but Jang is there to clean things up. Louisville running a 10-game winning streak. They've won 13 of their last 14 coming into the NCAA tournament.
And they make it look like a trap every so often, then they go into a man-to-man Louisville in their press.
Middleton matched up with Smith out front. Try to drop it inside for Beckford. Lost it for a moment. Going against Jang. Just over a minute gone by in this first half. Long jump shot doesn't go for Witter. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by NCAA. Look at the bracket. Winner here will play Colorado State, Missouri, the survivor of that one, which is coming up in Lexington. And we'll have it for you right here on TBS. Right now, Oregon up by 12 on Oklahoma State in San Jose. So, the Pac-12 with a potential surprising win over the Big 12. Louisville up 4-2.
Nice little jump double screen out front against Siva.
There's Smith on a spin. Nearly lost it. And a scrape for the ball leads to a turnover. Middleton will get it ahead. Right on that sideline. And it's out of bounds just in front of Rick Pitino. Turnover. North Carolina A&T.
So when they work so hard against Rick Pitino's team and they turn them over, they have to make sure they get opportunities coming down the other end. You just can't compete in an up and down game with Louisville. Although this is the second time in a row we've seen a guard slip and turn the basketball over for Louisville.
And they force a turnover. It was Smith earlier. Now it's Siva losing his footing. So second turnover for the Cardinals. North Carolina A&T, the 73-72 win over Liberty on Tuesday night. It came right down to the wire. First ever victory in the NCAA tournament for the Aggies. Out front, Witter. Keep it on the perimeter. Adrian Powell averaging 12.4 points per game. There's a jump shot for Middleton. That doesn't go. Smith gets it ahead quickly for Blackshear. Behannon sets the screen. Smith on a kick out. Siva the ball fake. Smith lines it up. Can't hit the three. Long rebound. Blackshear's got it. Blackshear muscles it in for Louisville.
Well, that's a difficult shot off the offensive glass, but that's when Louisville is at their best, Ian, when the guards are putting the ball on the deck for 1 or 2 dribbles, bringing the defenders in, and then going after. Here's their turnover.
Yeah, this is where the Aggies are going to have problems. That constant pressure, but they get it back. Powell's going to bring it across. 3 turnovers now for Louisville. Directing traffic, Lamont Middleton, junior from the Bronx. Powell gives it up for Witter. Witter's been one of the better shot blockers in college basketball. We're going to get a turnover. No, we're going to get a foul call. Pitino was looking for a travel against Middleton.
Well, I think he was also thinking that Middleton threw his chest and ran his chest right into Siva just then defensively.
But it's Siva who picks up the foul.
Yeah, I think he's thinking that there was first possibly the travel, then secondarily the left arm, then the right arm, and like pick your choice.
Lamont Middleton, 70% free throw shooter. Name might sound familiar to college basketball fans. His father, Lamont Middleton, played at St. John's under Louis Carnesecca.
The great Louis Carnesecca.
That's right. I should have prefaced it. You're right.
What a career that gentleman had coaching. And his dad was a pretty good player at St. John's also.
Yeah. Middleton, the only Aggie to start every game this season. Comes in averaging 12.4 points per game. He has scored all 4 of North Carolina A&T's points so far. Smith gets it ahead. And Bohannon backs it out.
Oh, good hands.
Smith able to track it down as Witter had an opportunity. Siva swings it. Catch and shoot. Doesn't go for Blackshear. Out of bounds. Last touch by the Aggies.
One of the things that Jang has gotten much better at for Louisville is moving his feet and going after the basketball. Before you can get a hand on it, you generally have to move your feet unless it's coming right at you. He's gotten better at that.
Rick Pitino was looking to get Luke Hancock into the game, but Louisville put it in bounds. Siva. Work it to Jang. Gorgie Jang.
Oh, that's not going to count.
No, it won't. It would have gone down, but Bohannon touched it right on the cylinder.
Yeah, Bohannon almost appeared to me, the first look on, that he almost brought his hand down into the rim. This ball, like you said, is definitely going down, and the ball's on the way down. He comes over the top. Let's see if his hand comes in. Yeah. That's a bucket that you take off the board right there.
No, we asked Rick Pitino, how are you going to approach this game with your team? He said, look, as a #1 seed, I'm going to tell them you can't play nervous. Go out, play to win. And that's the mentality that Rick Pitino has been able to get across throughout the season. They find ways to win. You get late in a game, Louisville usually makes the right basketball plays to win a game.
Yeah, and at the other side, Cy Alexander is just probably telling his kids, listen, we came up with a great win the other night. Let's just go have fun and see what we can do. Be proud of yourselves.
Middleton off the mark. There's the leak out. Siva with speed, loses the ball, but it's out of bounds off of North Carolina A&T. And we'll hit our first timeout with Louisville in front by 2.
Well, we'll take a look at this call one more time. The officials get this one correct. That ball is going to start to go back in. You see it. Simple call, not a good move.
Second round action, Midwest region here in Lexington. 6-4, Louisville in front of North Carolina A&T. Ian Eagle along with Jim Spinarco talking with Cy Alexander after that victory against Liberty. Asked him how will you approach the game against the #1 seed. 10 4-minute segments. They're through the first 4-minute segment and doing okay.
I think they're doing very well. Defensively, they've turned Louisville over a couple of times.
But it's tough to stop that. Russ Smith going to the rim.
And they just have to be careful with the basketball, because one of the things that Rick Pitino mentioned is that they come after you.
Stripped to the ball. Harrell could not scoop it up, and last touch by North Carolina A&T.
This team, Rick Pitino's team, is so good at their full court traps and pressure. And Rick basically said, when asked, why do you think you're so good at it? He says, because these guys understand it and they sense when a team is vulnerable and they go after it.
At the top of your screen, Game Tracks. 4 networks covering the NCAA tournament for you with CBS, TNT, True TV, and right here on TBS. We'll keep you updated on all the scores. And if there's some late game action or some drama, you'll know about it. Thanks to Game Tracks, top of your screen. 8-4, Louisville in front. 15:03 mark of this first half. North Carolina A&T, one of the most famous alums is Reverend Jesse Jackson, who made the trip to Lexington, civil rights activist, and called Cy Alexander yesterday to congratulate him on the win and let him know that he was going to be in attendance for this one against the #1 overall seed.
And that gentleman, Cy Alexander, was very impressed that he received that phone call and very happy about Reverend Jackson addressing the team over at the hotel today prior to this game.
Montrezl Harrell extending the Louisville lead 9-4. Powell was called on the foul, his first.
I hope Reverend Jackson told him to watch the traps in the full court press.
I'm sure X's and O's were a big part of it. He's a dynamic speaker, but he knows his X's and O's. Jeremy Underwood, who really stepped forward the other night against Liberty, put up 19 points off the bench. He's in. Jump shot doesn't go for Powell. Zhang controls the glass. Up ahead for Smith. The speed. Smith stripped to the ball. Out of bounds as the Aggies touched it last. Well, the boys are back, and by boys, we mean men at work. A brand new season of Men at Work premieres Thursday, April 4th at 10, 9 Central, only on TBS. Very funny. 14:28 to go in this first half. Smith, the slam, Montrezl Harrell on a rack attack.
They are getting so much mileage out of their penetration in a short period of time that it's allowing Louisville players to just work the baseline. Wow, that was a quick one, huh? That's a blitz at the defensive end. 10-second violation, and watch, see, you bring somebody in, nobody's left home. They're too good. You got to keep the guards in front of you as Louisville, if they break you down off the dribble, they're going to try to break the rim.
And also shook our overhead camera on that flush by Harrell. Talented freshman from Tarboro, North Carolina. 11-4, Louisville in front. Siva gives it up. Hancock. Boy, that one went off the glass. Rebound by Ware. Kick out for Siva. Hancock works his way inside. Outside, Ware drains it. It's a three. They might be playing in Lexington, but it feels like they're playing in Louisville.
Sure does. They covered up these blue seats in a hurry, didn't they, with all the red up there?
8-0 run and a 14-4 lead. Foul called.
Now, playing on the road, if you will, and I know we're not playing on the road if you're North Carolina A&T, but what you need to do is approach this like it's a road game. And every time it gets a little crazy, you got to pull back the throttle and get your poise back. But notice right now at the half court, Louisville comes out and tries to trap it.
Foul called on Hancock. Jump shot doesn't go as Middleton is off the mark. He had Beckford underneath. Ware aggressive to the hoop, misses on the floater, but he is going to the free throw line. And that's been a big change for Louisville. Second half of the season, the fact that Rick Pitino could count on the likes of Kevin Ware and Montrezl Harrell coming off the bench. Hancock has been consistent throughout the season, the transfer from George Mason. But what a lift Ware and Harrell has given Pitino as Witter picks up his first foul.
And to your point, Ian, about that depth, I think when you're coming in as the overall number one, and I think, you know, we were speaking to Rick yesterday about how crazy this season has been with the quality teams that got to number one and all of them seemed to lose. And everybody seemed to also have trouble during the course of the season. I think he understands more than ever that depth is really going to play into a good long run for his team.
Now, you asked him, what's the one area, if any, you'd like to see maybe develop during this NCAA tournament you haven't seen enough of from your team? And he said the one thing, and he didn't say it about his players specifically, he said the era of players now. Inside, it's denied, but a foul. Beckford is going to the free throw line. He said if you don't score, he tends to see the body language where players are deflated and it affects their game as a whole. And he tries to preach, hey, look, just because you don't score doesn't mean it should affect your defense, affect the way you spread the ball around, affect the way you rebound and work the glass.
Well, think of Rick Pitino as a, you know, he's a throwback, right, with his career that he's gone through, very, very successful, and how he was basically brought up to play this game. And I think that's one of the things that points out the differences of the kids now playing basketball. They don't really live and die with their high school basketball teams and practice with them as much as a lot of those AAU type of kids out there showcasing their talents. And I would think that's one of the most difficult parts of coaching, is getting kids to buy into whatever system you're going to run, so that if you don't score, you're still part of a team and you're still worried about the W.
That ends a 10-0 run. Hancock tried to float it upstairs. And Carroll's off of Harrell, trying to create space. Nice defensive play there by North Carolina A&T surrounding Harrell. Push up the floor. Powell feeds it to the perimeter. Good look. Kick out. Louisville. Short. Good track down there. Upchurch, the senior from Raleigh, North Carolina, now in. North Carolina A&T has missed their last 6 shots. They made their first shot of the night. And a foul called. No. Turning it over the other way. Stepped out of bounds on the baseline as Jeremy Underwood gives it back to Louisville.
Yep, another turn around the corner, and bang, you're out of bounds going the other way. That's the pressure on the baseline. It comes from all different angles and positions for Rick Pitino.
Mike Stewart was all over it. He's officiated in 4 Final Fours, 1 national championship game. Mike Sanzier also has an impressive resume, 3 Final Fours and 1 title game to his credit. 16-6, Louisville in front, double team.
Good hands.
And Blackshear gives it away.
Marks behind you, though.
Underwood somehow maintained the dribble. Powell clears it. There's the step through. Bohannon, he misses the jam. Blackshear trailing the play. And the second opportunity goes for Shane Bohannon.
Game on, and it keeps moving for Bohannon just then. It's embarrassing to have that breakaway. You got a numbers if you hurry right here.
Louisville steps through. Denial by Van Treese. And a foul called. Wow. It's going to be Powell going to the free throw line. 11:53 to play. We're in the first half. Louisville up by 12 on the 16 seed. North Carolina A&T, first winning record since the 96-97 season. A lot of credit has to be given to the head coach, Cy Alexander. With more on that, time for our Powerade sideline report as we welcome in Allie LaForce.
Coach Alexander certainly knows how to turn programs around. When he was at South Carolina State, they had never been to an NCAA tournament. He took them to 5, and he added 7 conference championship trips on top of that. Now he's at North Carolina A&T, and he's taking them to their first tournament appearance. What was the key, I asked him. He said, hard work, preparation, and organization. Now they're certainly trying to work hard to make up for this deficit, but he said they're up for it, and it's all about starting with the seniors. Guys?
Yeah, Allie, that was the big point I thought he made as well, that he was so happy for these seniors. They knew about the strong tradition that NCAA had back in the 80s. They were going to the tournament every year. Now the seniors get to feel like they're part of it.
Absolutely. It's a terrific feeling, too. And then you wake up and you see Louisville.
Yeah. And then reality sets in.
Exactly.
After the win over Liberty, as Smith gets to the rim, and it's 20-7 Louisville.
They get to the rim at a different level, don't they, in terms of the speed? You got to get it across half court against them.
Well, it's probably the fastest backcourt in college basketball between Siva and Smith. You bring Ware in, who's got skills, and there is Smith taking it away and getting the bucket for Louisville.
You know, if you look at this game so far, we talked about the first 4 minutes. If you're grading it kind of like a boxing match, first 4 minutes, I would have given it to North Carolina A&T. Obviously, the next 4 at Louisville, and this other 4 is shaping up quickly, too.
Well, it's getting close to a TKO.
Yeah, there you go. There's a little hand deflection. They do that quite good also, and finish off with the layup.
Louisville playing in its 39th NCAA tournament, 2 national championships back in 1980 and 1986. Darrell Griffith and then Purvis Ellison, a part of those outstanding Louisville squads. Last year, lost to Kentucky in the Final Four, 69-61, as the Wildcats went on to win the national championship. North Carolina A&T definitely feeling the defensive pressure so far. They have 7 field goal attempts. They have 7 turnovers. Double team, and a timeout called by Middleton. He was in trouble along the sideline, and North Carolina A&T in an early hole. 22-7, Louisville.
Every car we build must make adrenaline pump and pulses quicken. To help you not just stay alive, but feel alive. The C-Class is no exception. It's a Mercedes-Benz through and through. See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for exceptional offers through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services.
Sweet! Rise! Brilliant!
Dad, you're not getting my bites.
KFC Bites. Freshly hand-breaded big bites of 100% breast meat. Now with our famous hot gravy. Try a 6-bite combo for just $3.99. Today tastes so good.
Any moment not riding it is a moment you wish you were. Can-Am Spyder. With exclusive Y-frame design and patented vehicle stability system, you've never felt so connected to the road. Discover riding reinvented at canam.erp.com. Ride a Can-Am Spyder now for as low as $199 a month.
You'll probably never bat in the 9th inning of Game 7. Or have to make a shot with 20,000 fans screaming at you.
Louisville on top of North Carolina A&T, 22-7 here in Lexington, 10:38 to play in the first half. Aggies have now gone nearly 9 minutes without a field goal.
And a little bit of a matchup defense here, and it's out of the zone, but they play it like it's a true man-to-man, and the shot clock just disappeared.
Defense has been suffocating for Louisville, forcing North Carolina A&T into 1 out of 7 from the field. That was just their 8th turnover. Louisville 9 of 14 shooting, 12-0 in the paint in favor of the Cardinals. Working around the perimeter, Siva using the Jang screen. Bohannon. Now it's Ware out front. We'll hit the halfway point of this first half. Timeout. Rick Pitino calls it with 11 to shoot. 10:02 to play, first half at Rupp. Follow tournament scores, stats, and news live on the CBS Sports app. Get it free by texting SCORE to 42777 or by visiting cbssports.com/mobile from your phone or tablet. Off the timeout, open look. Wayne Blackshear drains it from the corner.
And that's just a signal to keep up there with the hands, deflections. Look at Siva down low.
They better watch out here. Another 10-second call could be coming their way. Just getting it across. Powell swings it. Oh, going down hard.
It was his head too, Ian.
Demetrius Upchurch.
Wow. Not only did he hit the floor with his back, covering the entire jersey, but it was like a whiplash effect. Wow, and he gets up very quickly, which is a great sign. Watch his head if we get a shot of it. You see the head go back? Oh.
Foul is called against Bohannon. Upchurch was looking for a big finish. 2 free throws coming up for Demetrius Upchurch. High energy player, comes off the bench for North Carolina A&T, was a starter earlier in the season before Bruce Beckford, the freshman, really established himself. Extended conversation here between Cy Alexander and Mike Stewart.
I'm just still trying to get over that drive to the basket just then. Very happy to see him get off the floor. Doesn't sound or look any better anytime you look at that one.
If the trainer came out, then Upchurch has to leave the game. And they're going to have to substitute at the line as Adrian Powell is now there.
And Cy Alexander gets the choice, or does he? No, I guess it's
Adrian Powell now at the stripe. I believe it's Rick Pitino's
Pitino gets the choice, yeah.
And makes the right one. Powell misses on the first. It's actually an upgrade from Upchurch, who shoots it at 47%.
Right.
Powell's a 59% shooter, now 2 out of 4, and they're going through the usual set of tests to make sure that Upchurch was not concussed. Here's Siva. Blackshear gives it up for Ware. Ware is really long, so is Jang, and he traveled. Over on TNT, Arizona and Belmont just underway. Cal and UNLV will be coming up on True TV. And later on, we're going to have Colorado State and Missouri here from Lexington on TBS.
Yep, looking forward to that one.
Michigan and South Dakota State over on CBS, and the Wolverines are down early. Louisville shooting 67% from the field, 10 of 15. North Carolina A&T, this long drought without a field goal. They've gone 10 minutes and change, and that ends there. The jump shot from Adrian Powell, the lefty swingman from Conover, North Carolina. Cuts the Louisville lead to 14.
Yeah, and he looks for that three. Shoots it at 36%, but he can blend with an inside and outside game.
Jang on the dish. Inside, it's good, and a foul. Bohannon.
Almost every time we've seen when Louisville takes the ball past the free throw line towards the basket, something good is happening, obviously, because they are so good at it. Even the bigs, they make you defend and they make you rotate. They give a good look that they're going to take it all the way.
It's now 14-0 Louisville in the paint. Bohannon converts. 52% shooter, very fierce, aggressive sophomore from Cincinnati. 28-11 Louisville.
They just keep switching. Siva and Smith understand when one is in trouble, the other helps him out.
Spread the floor. Middleton with Powell and Underwood. Now Louisville fires. He connects for three.
Spreading the floor a little bit, and that allows them to go for their little bit of a trap.
Jang will throw over the top of it. Smith. Foul is called offensive. It's going the other way. Sliding over to take the hit was Beckford.
There are times when I think with the rules, and not this call, but yeah, he's moving into him. I mean, defensively never established any position. Defensive position player has to establish a defensive posture and position, and he did not with his chest. There's another bump out front.
First foul on Smith. Drive and kick. Middleton lines it up and missed it. Too strong. Scrape for the ball, and a foul called on the reach-in by Louisville. See real stories of human achievement featured on the Buick Human Highlight Reel at ncaa.com/Buick.
When you're going back to my playing days, whenever we were playing a team that really pressed a lot, none of them are really as good as what Louisville is. You would run a drill where 5 guys would go against 7 defenders, and you'd get that real sense of urgency, like people are coming at you. Where are they coming from? These guys give you the impression that there's 7 on the floor. They're so good at it.
No call. Oh, yeah, now there is, and over and back. Rick Pitino cannot believe there was not a foul against Powell on the shove. 8th Louisville turnover.
I think Rick has an argument right there, too. Watch for the body bump, right? There's the no call.
A sea of red here in Lexington. Last year, Kentucky actually opened the NCAA tournament in Louisville, so we had the juxtaposition of the Wildcat fans making their way to the Yum Center. 28-14, Louisville in front, #1 seed in the Midwest region. North Carolina A&T with Adrian Powell swinging it for Beckford. The drive and the denial by Jang.
The little things out front, too, to get it to Jang. Louisville guards force you to go to your weak hand probably 75% of the time. It's a subtle thing, but they're very good at it.
Here's Siva. We come up on 7 minutes to play. First half using the screen. Siva outside, Hancock, catch and fire. Took it, a three.
Well, he's made some big shots down the stretch last couple of weeks for Louisville. Oh, look at this, the big.
Almost a steal. Instead, it's Underwood now on the move, and now he coughs it up. The flick ahead. Siva to Smith. 2-on-1. It's Smith doing it himself.
The blood is in the water right now.
Siva to Harrell, the slap down, and a foul on Underwood. They just come at you in waves.
It's a blitz. It's a 7-on-5. They just keep coming at you. They're relentless. They understand it. They play the passing lanes. They strip. They flip. And they also finish when they get the transition going.
They are shooting 72% from the field.
You know, a lot of times as a player you say, okay, they scored, so they're going to back off just a little bit, and you pass it in, and they're just as aggressive.
They have 10 turnovers, North Carolina A&T, in this first half. They had 8 the entire game the other night in Dayton, the 73-72 win over Liberty. Well, Cy Alexander, he has been calm. He's coaching up his players, including a senior, Gene Louisville, from Fort Myers, Florida. Alexander, after the win, we asked him, well, what'd you guys do? Did you get some rest? He said, I took the team out for steak and shrimp. It was a tremendous dinner. And it made me hungry when he mentioned it. It sounded really good.
This doesn't sound good here. No. This is like dinner.
Siva to Smith. Layup, no. And rebounded by Witter. 34-14.
Look at this. You just can't. You got to keep it alive. There you go.
A 3-ball. Adrian Powell quiets the crowd for a moment. He's got 8. Over 1,000 career points in his Aggies career. Has led the team in scoring each of the last 2 seasons.
The Aggies are doing just really what you're not supposed to do against Louisville's pressure. When they get by it, you got to remember that Siva and Smith are so fast coming back on you that you have to be careful with the ball. So as soon as you beat it, look up, see if somebody's open. Make the first pass.
Louisville doubling up NCAA 34-17.
And not to say that you've conquered it by just making one pass either.
On the pass off, foul is called. Siva looking to the corner for Smith.
Yeah, but here now you look, there's that quick pass that I was just speaking of last trip down, and Powell bangs one down. They don't react quick enough. Now if you're going to play that way against Louisville, you have to make sure you're hitting a pretty good percentage of your shots.
Second foul on Underwood. Hancock, tough shooter. Luke Hancock, the junior from Roanoke, Virginia. 36-17. They double. They cause a turnover. Smith gets it out. High flyer.
That noise says it all, doesn't it? Now look at this now. They're just looking for opportunities. Nice look.
And ricochets to Beckford for the dunk. This is the player that Cy Alexander said they're building the program around. They have such high hopes. They believe the ceiling is so high for Bruce Beckford. Lob and slam. Upstairs, it's Harrell on a special delivery from Siva.
Louisville continues to head for the ceiling also, Ian. They're coming down with dunks. It's just a very, very impressive blitz.
40-19 Louisville. On the outside, Witter. Powell makes his move. Hooks a pass. Beckford on a kickout. Jump shot, Underwood. Siva up high and comes down awkwardly out of bounds. We'll get a timeout or just a substitution. We're going to get substitutions.
So here's that steal. The way they act and react quickly. They pass the basketball, very unselfish for Harrell, and then Siva upstairs again for the finish. And every time you turn around, there's a white shirt and multiple white shirts coming in your direction.
Louisville has 7 steals. Now the timeout with 4:35 to play in the first half. Louisville has put up 40 points. Peyton Siva, the extra effort going for the offensive rebound, and that right knee buckled just a bit on landing. Coming up, AT&T at the half. We'll get you caught up on all the latest tournament news, highlights, and updates. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half. Louisville shooting 73% from the field. They've limited North Carolina A&T to 36%. Ware with a near steal. Underwood working around the perimeter now. Jump shot for Witter, and he drains a 3. Austin Witter, his first points of the evening. Senior from Princeton Junction, New Jersey. Foul out front. It'll work against Underwood. That is number 3 on Underwood. We have not seen Demetrius Upchurch back in the game since his head hit the floor. And he will remain on the bench.
Yeah, you've got to play that one tremendously safe right there. I mean, you don't want to take any chances, because I'm sure he's saying that I'm okay and I want to go out there and play.
So Upchurch will remain on the sideline. Trainer is continuing a long conversation with him as Smith misses on the second attempt, rebounded by Witter, diving to the floor. But North Carolina A&T able to get it ahead. We will hit the 4-minute mark of this first half with Louisville in front, 41-22, the number 1 overall seed in the tournament. Witter on a dump down, breaking free, and Beckford finishes around the hoop.
Yeah, when they keep the ball alive, passing it, it's had much better success. Well, look at that crossover.
Smith hooks it inside. Jang creates space, denied, but a foul. Austin Witter, who averages 3 blocks per game, among the leaders in that category in the country. Foul is called. Louisville up big, first half. And VCU in Auburn Hills. So Michigan having a tough time early. That has not been the case for Louisville, the number 1 seed in the Midwest region. Gorgie Jang at the free throw line. On the season, 69%. His offensive game has improved dramatically over his 3 years with the program.
And keeping him on the floor and not getting into foul trouble. And then you have the forwards who do their work around him. Nice front line. And we talked about Siva and Smith, the impact. You know, you think about Siva, just the impact he's had on this game already defensively. He hasn't scored yet.
Taking a step further, he hasn't taken a shot yet.
Yeah, 4 assists. 2 steals, could have had a couple more, probably with deflections and all.
R.J. Buck is in the game. Shot clock is down to 7. Powell loses it. Up for grabs. Jang shouldn't handle it, and he traveled. Adrian Powell is down, and now will do a push-up to get himself back up. And right now we're going to check in with Allie LaForce.
Guys, I talked to North Carolina A&T's trainer. She said that Upchurch is fine. It's just a coach's decision not to put him in at this point. But then I saw him and heard him ask his teammate, Witter, what happened, man? Witter said, you felt pretty good. So I don't think he's doing okay.
Yeah, we've seen the replay now about 5 times, and the trainer continues to have a chat with Demetrius Upchurch.
My guess, and we don't like to get into the medical side of it, right, and make guesses, but my guess is he's going to sit there for the remainder of this half, and then they'll really take him into the halftime for an extended period of time and really check him out. Because, I mean, that was, as you mentioned, we've seen the replay enough in terms of seeing how hard he went down.
Whoa. Just banging the back of his head on impact. Good find inside. It's Beckford with the throwdown.
There's that quick blitz again at half court by Louisville. One of the things you can do is you make sure that you try to be composed as they come at you and look for somebody to fill the middle of the floor.
North Carolina A&T is actually shooting a respectable 47%. Siva his first attempt, and it's a finger roll. The problem for North Carolina A&T, the turnovers, 13 of them, leading to 16 Louisville points. 45-26 Cardinals. Louisville gave up his dribble. Ball fake. Middleton to the hoop and can't get it to drop. Ware the other way is picked up by Powell. Ware.
That's going to be Jang.
Yep, moving screen by Jang. Was trying to create some space for Ware to operate.
Well, occasionally it helps if you're trying to get this trap in place to try to go long past it once they commit to that trap. And you notice back down underneath the basket because they recognize the opening, but it's very difficult to do if you haven't seen it that often.
Louisville has actually turned the ball over 10 times in this first half. So it's been this frantic pace. Louisville really setting the tone with their defensive pressure, but they've made some mistakes on the offensive end as well. They average 12.7 turnovers per game. Open layup for Middleton.
And knowing Rick Pitino as well as we do, you know he's going to complain about that to his team and some emphasis points. And he's amazing the energy level that he puts into a game watching him on the sidelines. Well dressed or not, he's almost working like he's in a sweatsuit over there.
Siva, short. Rebound tracked down by Beckford.
I always watch from behind with this Louisville team.
Middleton looking for some help. We're down to 1:17 to go in this first half. Hancock got screen. Louisville takes advantage with a triple.
Well, it's a terrific looking shot with the rotation on that basketball. I'm not so sure they've been knocked out of this one, you know, the way they're looking and watching these kids out here. When they're down 14, they're making a run under a minute.
Siva to the hoop, tried a left-handed attempt, doesn't go. They're shooting 50% from the field, and they're 5 of 10 from three-point range. Give it up for Middleton. The drive, tough shot, and Van Treese was there.
You turn down a good shot to try to get a better one, and you get a worse one.
Lob, and the put down there by Bohannon. The step in, Siva. Final 30 seconds, and now Siva will back it out. So North Carolina A&T had cut it to 14.
Yeah, and just when you think there's a little bit of a shift, maybe a little momentum going into the locker room for North Carolina A&T, Siva steps up again.
Well, if there were 5 4-minute segments in the first half, North Carolina A&T hung in 2 of them, but got dominated in 3. Deflection, 4.3. Knocked out of bounds. Is my math correct?
No,
you looked at me
right.
as if I was on another planet.
No, you're right.
Okay. I'm doing a math in my own head. Am I off on this?
No, you're right.
47-31 Louisville. I may be on another planet, but I don't think it's based on that math.
I just wanted to let that float away, whether you're on another planet or not. I don't have time to go into that.
Get it in for Siva. 2 seconds. 1. Siva gets it off. No good. At the buzzer, Louisville will hit the break with a 47-31 lead thanks to 67% shooting from the field for Rick Pitino's squad. Louisville, the overall #1 seed in this tournament at 29-5, coming off a Big East championship where they beat Syracuse in the finals 78-61 at Madison Square Garden, and they put up 47 points in the first half to lead the 16 seed in the Midwest region, North Carolina A&T, as we send it over to Allie LaForce with Rick Pitino.
Coach, you've developed a 16-point lead heading into the half. What do you focus on with these guys?
Well, when we against trapping teams like this, what I was telling Peyton when we're coming off the court, the sideline and the baseline are your enemies against trapping teams. An old friend of mine, Dick McGuire, God rest his soul, used to say, I said, Dick, what makes a great NBA player? Like Kuzi and those guys. He said, they could get to the middle of the floor, open up the window and see everything. So we got to stay away from the sidelines and stay in the middle.
How long do you keep your full court pressure up?
Till the clock runs out and we can win a game, because this is a good team here. This is no 16 seed. They're a very good team.
Good luck, Coach. Thanks.
All right, great stuff, Allie. Thanks. 47-31. Louisville leading North Carolina A&T at the half. We'll send you to 18th. All right, Allie, thank you very much. Demetrius Upchurch, who took the hard fall, still rubbing the back of his head, went in for a big dunk, got knocked down, and then on contact with the floor, first his body, then the back of his head, and it was a loud thump inside Rupp Arena. Has not played since the collision. 47-31, we're underway in the second half. Louisville at 29-5. They went 14-4 in the Big East, running a 10-game winning streak. Slip to the rim, extra feed. Beckford will go to the free throw line.
So it'll be interesting to see, right? Cy Alexander's trying to cut his turnovers in half. So that set right there in the half-court set was fine. Now, Cy also knows to his point, similar to what Rick Pitino told Allie at half. Remember, he brought up Bob Cousy, trying to break a press, get to the middle of the floor so you can see what's going on. Same thing could apply breaking Louisville's press. What Cy Alexander's speaking about is turn and look up the floor. Sometimes the sideline, if you're going to make a pass, as Rick said, can be troublesome. Against a real good trap, that's usually the first one open or the one in the middle is open. So either or against this good trap.
Alexander was one of the best coaches in the MEAC at South Carolina State. Went to the NCAA tournament 5 times. Did not get a win, though. Got his first personal win as a head coach in the NCAA tournament the other night against Liberty. Get full coverage of the 2013 Division I Women's Basketball Tournament at ncaa.com/women's. Final four. Third foul on Witter. 47-33. Siva to the hoop, and he misses the lay-in. Chang is there, and he gets it to go off the rebound.
Took that one right out of the hands of Beckford. I thought Beckford had the defensive rebound. Good drive, though, by Siva to make something happen.
8 points, 6 boards now for Gorgie Jang. 49-33, Cardinals. Middleton gives up his dribble. Able to get it for Beckford. And a turnover.
Yeah, either deflections, turnovers, the combination of them with steals.
Smith using the Bohannon screen. Sliding over defensively, double team, and he gives it away. Adrian Powell there for the steal. Half court set here for the Aggies. Down by 16. Poked away, and Smith tracks it down. Smith, he's got the angle for 2.
You know, you have to have trust. If you're playing in the backcourt with the guards, Smith and Siva, to my estimation, here's another deflection and a save. Yeah.
But Bohannon knocked it over to the other team, Middleton.
You have to know that if you're going to take a chance and gamble, your partner's going to bail you out.
In and out for Powell. And it's rebounded by Blackshear. Siva, the speed. Bohannon is fouled. Free throws coming up for the sophomore Shane Bohannon.
They're a little deceiving at times, too, even though they come at you with the blitz. Smith is very good. Just when you don't expect him to go for the steal, he does, and they turn it into very quick points the other way.
Well, Rick Pitino did say yesterday, with that press, the team can sense weakness in opponents and then build on it, and it just dominoes. Substitution, R.J. Buck in. Adrian Powell, the senior, will sit. Another free throw coming for Shane Bohannon. 52% on the season. As a team, Louisville shot it at 71%. And everybody knows if you're going to win a national championship, there's going to come a time where you're going to have to make some free throws. Ball knocked over. Spinarco nearly had it. And it's out of bounds. Turnover.
I get a deflection.
Do you get a touch there?
I got the touch.
All right. That'll show up in the CBS box score.
Yeah, somewhere. I hurt my finger, too.
Yeah, you did seem to be injured. 52-33, Louisville. Siva swings it. And a jump shot for Blackshear doesn't go. It's rebounded by Middleton. Gets ahead for Buck. Just over 2.5 minutes gone by in this second half. The lead is now 19 for the Cardinals. Louisville. Well, that's no man's land. Trying to save it. Last touch by North Carolina A&T as Beckford made the dive.
Yeah, there's the deflection. And you know what? That was pretty close. That could have been off Louisville just then. But the effort, terrific just the same.
Second half, 4 turnovers, just 1 field goal attempt. Smith, the leader. Russ Smith, 18.1 points per game this season. And now Louisville has equaled its largest lead, 21. Louisville on a dish inside. Beckford lays it in against Jang.
Did you notice how Louisville had to get that ball through and into the middle of the floor, but every dribble it seemed like he was just hoping that nobody was around him.
That's 12 now for Bruce Beckford. Jang clears it for Siva.
I like this high screen here. Jang just waits it out. Siva with his blistering speed goes by a lot of people.
Siva had it taken away, and now a lead pass. Louisville traps it down and slams for North Carolina A&T.
That's a terrific pass out, too. You want to put that out there with a little backspin on it so it dies, so the teammate can run up and gather it and just put it in. So Rick Pitino wants to talk things over also.
Demetrius Upchurch returns for the first time after his first half injury, a head injury when he fell down. And nice exchange right there with Shane Bohannon, who was called on the foul. Bohannon came over to make sure that Upchurch was doing okay. 15:57 to play in the second half. Louisville up 54-37 on North Carolina A&T. Ware leaning in, and rebound controlled by Beckford. We get a foul. We also get a timeout. Number 1 seed in the Midwest up on NCAA.
That's right, Reverend Jesse Jackson. You're a graduate of North Carolina A&T, and you got to address the team in the locker room before the game.
I'm so proud of our team tonight. Our school has a very proud tradition. Al Ladd was the first African-American coach to coach the NBA championship. San Francisco Warriors was Al Laddles. Also running back now, the great astronaut came from this school. The sit-ins began here in 1960, so we have a very proud tradition. Not just our basketball team go up to the top again. This is exciting.
What was your message to them in the pregame in the locker room?
Well, maintain your poise and dignity. You fall down sometime, but get up again, because the ground is no place for a champion. You get back up, and nothing is too hard for God. So do your best.
Now, you were an athlete yourself. You played football at North Carolina A&T. You were an Aggie football player. What were some of your best memories?
Well, you know, we played, in that time, we couldn't attend the white schools, and so people like Bob Hayes was playing with Florida A&M, and Cornell Gordon was playing for A&T, and so we had great games with the great teams. There's 7 seniors on this team who are going to graduate. March Madness cannot mean May Sadness at graduation. March Madness must mean May Gladness at graduation time. Kids on this team are going to graduate, and that's a big deal. Not one and done, they're graduating. That's the real victory, graduating.
You mentioned madness. Now, what's it going to take for this team to make a comeback and make it real March Madness?
Well, the gods have to break the awesome press of Louisville. Has an awesome press, arguably the best team in the country. And if we break that press as they're doing now, something's going to happen. I mean, we're hanging in there. We could win this one. All of them have watched ball Alabama's North Carolina State impossible dream team, so everybody kind of got some of that North Carolina State in them tonight.
Reverend, I know you want to watch and cheer, so I'll let you go. Thanks for the time.
Oh, thank you so much.
Ian.
All right, Allie, thank you very much. 7 seniors on this North Carolina A&T roster. Russ Smith, leaning jump shot. He's got 17, and Louisville has opened up a 21-point cushion.
And the ball hasn't come to this side across the court at the offensive end in a little bit of time. So a little bit of a bump by Hancock out front.
So foul called against Hancock. Reverend Jesse Jackson mentioning Al Laddles, North Carolina A&T alum. Spent 11 years with the Golden State Warriors, 14 years as the head coach of the Warriors, part of the proud tradition in Greensboro.
Another guy who never took the possession off when he played.
No.
He played hard. Terrific player.
Coach of the 1975 team that won the NBA title. North Carolina A&T out of the MEAC. Beat Morgan State in the MEAC championship game 57-54 to get into the field of 68, and then beat Liberty on Tuesday night to get into the field of 64. In and out for Beckford. Ware almost turns it over. Whoa, knocked out of bounds. Hancock colliding with Louisville.
Once again, coming in our direction, so we get a good look at this. Here's the deflection. A little bit of a hold after the play goes out of bounds.
And Reverend Jesse Jackson producing our show as well. Here is Al Addles.
There you go.
He mentions it. We show it.
We have it.
Back in his North Carolina A&T days. Siva, spin to the rim. Peyton Siva with a major highlight. Louisville is shooting 67% from the field. They break the press, and then it bounces off of Louisville out of bounds.
You think you have him contained for a moment right here, but no, you don't. And Siva finishes it off. And I thought it was interesting with Rick Pitino's comments at halftime to Allie. And she asked him, you know, Coach, when do you take the press off?
Yeah. When it says 000
on the clock.
60-37. Louisville, largest lead of the night. Middleton swings it out for Powell. Off the high screen, set by Upchurch. Louisville thought about it. Shot clock winding down. Louisville to the rim. Can't finish. Out of bounds. Last touched by Middleton. Who says you can't start a university for the sole purpose of creating a basketball team? Watch Conan weeknights to learn more about the Conan State team, only on TBS. (60-37). Louisville, the #1 seed in Midwest region, leading North Carolina A&T. 20 turnovers now for A&T. Siva finishes with a left hand. The penetration by Siva.
That's one of the things you want to continue to see if you're Rick Pitino. You want to make sure that Siva continues to play good, solid basketball, not only at the defensive end, because your defense always travels, but make sure that his head is into it, and him and Smith are playing that tandem at the offensive end also.
It's an 8-0 run for Louisville. Smith now looking to take it away from Middleton. Instead, it's Middleton trying to go off glass. Follows it. Middleton rejected. Gets it back amongst the trees. And Middleton out of bounds. Another turnover for North Carolina A&T. Tournament summary. #1 Gonzaga holds on against Southern. So you almost had that storyline, the 16 against the 1. Vanderblue hits the game winner with 1 second left. Marquette advances to take on Butler in the 3rd round. And Oregon takes out Oklahoma State. So the Pac-12 getting a big win over the Big 12.
Well, Southern giving them a little shake down the stretch, just not enough. The Zags holding on.
Have to believe Avery Johnson was watching, very proud of his former school. Russ Smith. The assist for Siva. Smith now has 20. Siva has 8 assists. And Louisville is running away with it in Lexington. Or Android device today. 65-37. Louisville in front of North Carolina A&T. Just under 12 minutes to play now in this second half. North Carolina A&T, no field goals in 4 minutes and change. It's an 11-0 Louisville run.
And the combination of quickness and length, even in this matchup.
Upchurch, stripped to the ball. Siva dives for it, saves it. Russ Smith, uncontested slammer.
They get out of the pack so quickly. We got another injury in the backcourt there. It looks like it's Powell went down after that collision with Siva.
And Powell is not getting up. Yeah, had that right leg underneath Siva as he got the ball to Smith. We got
you up to speed. Back to you, Ian.
All right, Ernie, huge storyline there with Michigan and South Dakota State. Michigan, the 4 seed, Trey Burke, one of the best players in the nation. Winner there will play the winner of VCU and Akron, still to come on CBS. Here on TBS, Louisville is now up 30 on North Carolina A&T. Adrian Powell has left the floor after getting his foot caught underneath Peyton Siva on that scramble. Russ Smith going for the ball. And a tie-up. Possession arrow to Louisville.
Take a look at this play where Powell gets caught underneath Siva's body, and anytime that happens, not very good for the ankle in terms of how it's rolling in an unnatural position. 22 turnovers have led to 29 points.
Head shot off the mark
for Louisville, and now they'll, Rick Pitino's doing the right thing. You're up 30. He's pulling it back a bit, but in essence, he doesn't want them to not play hard out of this set right here. So watch for them. We've seen them out of this set. Comes across as a man-to-man to start. Now they're back into a true straight-up man-to-man. Occasionally they go with that matchup.
Lawrence Smith in for the injured Adrian Powell. Jump shot doesn't go for Beckford. Leak out by Smith. Smith in attack mode. Stripped to the ball and a foul. It'll be on Smith of North Carolina A&T. Celebrate 75 years of March Madness by voting for your all-time players, teams, and moments of the NCAA tournament. Vote now at ncaa.com/March Madness. Russ Smith to the free throw line, 83%. He is 10 of 13 from the field, now has 23 points. Powell is just behind the North Carolina A&T bench, and the trainer working with him.
Yeah, and the hope is with that ankle that they're relacing or maybe retaping his ankle.
Smith goes 1 out of 2. (68-37) Louisville.
And you see what looked like a man-to-man that was the last trip. Siva and Smith continue to point and switch out front, which gives you half of man-to-man and half of the zone look.
There's Middleton on the outside. Screen set by Beckford. Double team. Ball came out to Beckford. Kicks it out for Smith. Lost it. Got it back. And hits the jumper on a fadeaway.
What a tough shot, too. Hands all over the ball, slapping, looking for deflections, and somehow tries to get that one off and is successful with it.
Out of Bowie, Maryland, Lawrence Smith. That is Russ Smith. Missing from the outside. Siva the board. Kick out. Blackshear. Smith weaving his way through traffic. And a foul called. Blocking foul out front as we send it over to Allie LaForce.
Hey guys, Adrian Powell is right behind the bench. The trainer was putting a little bit of pressure on the front of his ankle and towards the top of his foot, but she didn't take any tape off or ice. All she did was add some more tape. He's lacing back up and he should be okay to head back in.
All right, Allie, he is their leading scorer at 12.4 points per game. He's been the leader of this team as well. Game has really developed over his 4 years. Van Treese, reaction from this Louisville crowd. Steven Van Treese averages 1.8 points per game. He gets 2 there on the dunk.
And now everybody's on the scorecard for Louisville. He was the only one without a point. And led by Smith with 23 right now.
Trey Burke is back in the game for Michigan. Over on CBS, they lead South Dakota State by 14. 70-39. Louisville is up big here, shooting 65% from the field. NCAA is down to 42%. Siva using the screen, loses the ball. Siva was looking for a call.
And he's holding his mouth a little bit.
5 on 4, and they take advantage with Underwood.
And Siva's okay, but he took a shot to the right side of his face.
Now Siva will come to the ball. And Powell is getting ready to check back in along with Upchurch for the Aggies. Smith. Slam down on the follow. It's Van Treese with the flush.
The depth on the front line. All guys in the front line starting to play better and better for Louisville over the last 2 weeks.
40 points in the paint for Louisville.
The soft shot opens up a terrific lane to finish it off with you're not blocked out.
Third game of the day here in Lexington, and it is all Louisville. Our game summary, 72-41. Cardinals shooting 64%, dominating the paint, forcing North Carolina A&T into 23 turnovers tonight. We've got 7:35 to play in the second half. Smith, the crossover, and his pass is taken away. Van Treese loops it ahead. Smith, the catch, throws it up. The follow doesn't go. An opportunity for Blackshear, but he could not convert.
Yeah, see, they continue to pull back defensively on the full court, but they're off to the races whenever they can.
Lob it ahead. Smith shovels. Blackshear gets bumped. And a chance for three. Foul against Lawrence Smith of North Carolina A&T.
See, that's the difficulty of what Rick Pitino has to do right now. He doesn't want to embarrass anybody, but he can't pull back the throttle at the offensive end. You have to continue to play hard and look to run and look to score. And I like the fact that Rick pulled the press off of 3 or 4 minutes ago.
Russ Smith, that'll do it. 23 points on 10 of 16 from the field for Smith, second leading scorer in the Big East this season. Tim Henderson, walk-on from Louisville, has checked in.
And now the magic act for Rick Pitino is to make sure these guys play hard. They don't go into any kind of showboating where anybody gets hurt, and get as many of his starters rested for Saturday's game.
They'll play the winner of Colorado State and Missouri coming up here at Rupp Arena. Outside, Underwood, crossover, and the jump shot rimming out. Rebounded by Henderson. So it's Henderson, Ware, Zach Price, Van Treese, and Blackshear, the 5 on the floor. High screen set by Price. Catch and shoot, Blackshear. Rebounded by Van Treese, and a reset for Louisville.
Van Treese with 6 rebounds in his minutes tonight.
Louisville is 4 of 13 from three-point territory. Here's Ware on the perimeter. Nice find. It's Blackshear. Short. Rebounded by Powell.
A couple of good looks there by Blackshear. Shoots it only at 32%. But in a game like this, they don't need him. But if people are going to have him shoot the basketball in that swing pass, they'll need him to knock those back to open it up.
There's Smith on the outside, watched by Henderson. We're down to 5:42 to play. Smith gives up his dribble, needs help. 10 to shoot. Witter. Shot clock is down to 4. Underwood, fend off on Blackshear. They're not going to get a shot off. In fact, they turn it over. 75-41, Louisville, the #1 seed in the Midwest, in complete control against 16th seeded North Carolina A&T. Henderson can't get the 3 to go. It's rebounded by Ware. Another offensive board for Louisville. Henderson again. Off the mark. Price the board. Price inside. Draws the foul. The sophomore from Cleveland, Ohio, will head to the free throw line. Watch live games on your computer, iPhone, iPad, and select Android devices with NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today. Zach Price, the lefty big man, 6'10". Actually moved to Louisville his senior year of high school from Cleveland. .67% shooter this season. Second one coming. Van Treese. Under 5 minutes to play now. This North Carolina A&T squad was picked to finish 9th in the MEAC. They end up winning the conference tournament and qualify for the NCAA tournament for the 10th time in school history. They were 0-9 before Tuesday night's win against Liberty. Out of bounds, Van Treese.
Every time Henderson touches the basketball, they want him to shoot it. The place will go crazy. It'll erupt. You get that one?
Yeah, I got it.
Here at Rupp Arena.
Yeah. Could be a Van earthquake if Stephen Van Treese gets another dunk.
There you go. All right.
Middleton. Over Price. Book it for three. Lamont Middleton Jr. He'll be back next year for Cy Alexander's squad along with Bruce Beckford. Also Jeremy Underwood.
Yeah, Middleton put together a nice year. This game is not indicative of it. Gets to the line usually pretty often. Nice defensive effort out front.
Turnover. Ware coughs it up. North Carolina A&T will have it when we come back. 3:59 to go in Lexington. Midwest region, second round action here with Louisville and North Carolina A&T. We're going to put Louisville into the third round where they will take on the winner of the Colorado State-Missouri game, which will be coming up right here on TBS from Lexington. Approximate tip-off time right around 9:35 Eastern. Still 3:59 to play here, but Louisville with a huge lead, 75-44 over NC A&T. Nearly losing the ball, and it's a battle for it. Possession arrow is to North Carolina A&T as Price got his hands on it.
Yeah, I thought coming into tonight's game that, Cy Alexander wouldn't admit it because he knew that he was going to have a tough one on his hands with Louisville and the way they press, but they have had a terrific season. You don't want to go out on a game like this and forget that. I think it's worth repeating that a terrific effort the other night for their win, and just overall, these kids have put together a solid season.
Three ball doesn't go for Witter. They are playing their 6th game in the last 10 days after that run at the MEAC tournament. Then had to go to Dayton for the first 4 against Liberty. Got that win right down the stretch, 73-72. Liberty had a chance to win it at the buzzer.
And you can always tell programs and how well they're coached, Ian, when they're overmatched. And you look at 5 guys who are remaining on the floor right now and how hard they play and how hard they'll play being down what they are, 31 points.
Off the mark, Witter. A great effort trying to save it. Right now, Louisville is going 5-on-4, but give credit to R.J. Buck.
Yeah, there's a delay in him coming back on the floor. You're just making sure and hoping there's not another injury.
Yeah, the other part of the equation, too, you talk about the effort level, and you can tell how well the team is coached. Also in this scenario, the fact they didn't lose their cool. Louisville builds the big lead. It's almost like a home game for the Cardinals here in Lexington. And you never got the sense that North Carolina A&T was looking to take it to the next level. Hard foul around the rim, unnecessary foul. So they've handled their business well.
And believe me, when you're getting trapped like that and you're out there and 2 guys like Steven Smith are taking the ball from you, it can be embarrassing, and you're all alone and everybody in this building is watching you get the ball stolen.
Blackshear pump fake, the hard drive, and he draws a foul. It'll work against Demetrius Upchurch. And the other part for North Carolina A&T, Cy Alexander talked about it. There's the Reverend Jesse Jackson. The fact that North Carolina A&T players, after getting the win in the first 4, they were joking around after the game. Hey, we're the best team in NCAA history. No team's ever won an NCAA tournament game. Now, obviously, we know with going back to the 80s, there were some very good North Carolina A&T teams that went to the tournament. Second round of the 2013 NCAA tournament in Lexington, Kentucky, where Louisville is dominating North Carolina A&T 76-44. And tack on another for Louisville. Ian Eagle, Jim Spanarkel, Allie LaForce, the rest of our TBS crew. You can put Louisville into the third round, and they'll play the survivor of Colorado State, Missouri, which will be the final game of the day here at Rupp Arena. Jump shot doesn't go for Middleton, and it's rebounded by Blackshear. Michael Bayfour is in, a walk-on from Lexington.
And Cy Alexander trying to do the same thing that Rick Pitino is doing, get everybody as much as he can into this game.
R.J. Buck will get it ahead for the final minute 18. Baseline out of bounds. And more substitutions now for the Aggies. Sean Stewart checking in. Waylon Siverin also into the game. Cy Alexander. A moment with Middleton and Underwood, who will still be a part of the program next year for North Carolina A&T. The step in and the steal. Blackshear cruises in for the two-handed slam. Final 58 seconds.
And we start to think, not ahead so much, because we obviously have that game, the next one in line, Colorado State and Missouri. But whichever team wins that game, I better be ready to handle the basketball against this Louisville press, because it's really gotten better and better. And as a team, they have really gotten better.
Khalid King is off the mark. Corvon Butler is also in for NCAA&T. The floater. Sean Stewart. And the final seconds here. 36 seconds to play. Louisville fans on their feet here in Lexington. Baffer, the Lexington native, the walk-on. And a foul called with 2:21 seconds left to play. So it will be Baffer to the free throw line. Brother Tony ran track at Louisville. Baffer attended Bryan Station High School here in Lexington, where he also played baseball and ran track as well. 79-46 Louisville. Missing on a pair. Stewart to the hoop, and that'll count. Goaltending against Montrezl Harrell.
Go to the cross half court, and that should do it, with Henderson going to dribble out the clock.
Louisville looks like every bit of the #1 overall seed in this NCAA tournament. A 79-48 win over North Carolina A&T. The Cardinals shoot 57% from the field, and they forced 27 turnovers against the Aggies. NCAA&T got its first ever win in the NCAA tournament the other night against Liberty, but the 16 seed falls to the #1 seed in the Midwest. Louisville advances to meet the winner of Colorado State and Missouri. For Jim Spinarkle and Allie LaForce, I'm Ian Eagle. That'll do it for now from Lexington. Tournament games continue on CBS, TNT, and True TV. Coming up, we'll send it to our studio after these messages. Louisville rolls at Rupp.
Everyone has a moment when they say, it's real now.